Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Roxbury International Film Festival's daily script reads. This is day number 3, and we've been having a wonderful time. We started this during pandemic when it was a shutdown and our whole festival was virtual. And we came up with this idea of doing the daily reads because people were doing these Zoom readings all over the place. And we have a lot of professional actors here from our SAG-AFTRA union. I think almost all, or maybe all, are, and our SAG-AFTRA members. And these works that you're seeing are works in progress of the writers. So it's a slice of their piece. And today we have a slice of a script from Gwen Tanner. And we have these readings run the gamut, all the genres, all the some writers are novices, some writers are seasoned writers. So we are welcoming your feedback after the reading. We'll have feedback from the audience and the actors and the writer. So I would like to first introduce Gwen.
Hi, thank you. I'm Gwen Tanner, and I'm the writer.
Thank you. And Christopher.
Hi, I'm Christopher James, and I'm playing John.
Thank you. And Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria Wilkins. I am reading for the TV announcer, the clerk, and Marvin.
Lots. And Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris Everett, and I will be playing Allie today.
You. Okay, I hope you all oh, I'm sorry. Before I always forget to say my name is Andrew Lyman, but also we have Sharon.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I'm the narrator. And this is The Mean Photographer, written by Gwen Tanner. Interior Airport, day. John looks at his watch and at the arrivals board to see if Allie's flight has arrived. He holds the small package behind his back. He's still shaken up, but tries to regain his composure. Allie runs for the corridor.
John!
She runs to John and he catches her in his arms. They embrace and then they kiss. John squeezes Allie really tight, then lets go.
This is for you.
He hands her the box with the pink bow. Allie's eyes light up.
Oh, no! Why?
She slowly unties the pink bow and opens the box.
You remembered! Thank you.
Allie tosses the box into her bag and puts on the necklace. John helps her fasten it.
Well, it's been on your Christmas list for the past 4 years. How could I forget?
How can you?
Well, I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. It looks beautiful on you.
Thank you.
Allie gives John a kiss on the lips. He grabs her hand and guides her through the airport. A large man wielding a knife jumps in front of them and lunges toward Allie. Sound of a camera shutter and flash. She screams. Night, bedroom. John awakens abruptly with his dream. He screams. He turns on the light and reaches over to the box with the pink bow. He sits on the edge of his bed, very tense. He turns on the TV.
Murder victim found slaughtered early this morning in West Park. There were no witnesses, and no suspect has been questioned at this time. We'll keep you updated on this tragic event.
John gets dressed and runs to his car. Interior, inside camera store, moments later. John's dark shadow moves swiftly and deliberately through the darkened camera store towards a room in the back with the light on. Sleeping under the door, he picks up a heavy object from behind the small counter. He barges through the door, Marvin, sitting with his back to the door, turns around and looks up at him, shocked. He places his hand over a stash of cash as if trying to protect it.
What do you want? What do you want?
John repeatedly whacks Marvin on the head until his skull is crushed. Blood splatters with every whack on Marvin's head. Marvin doesn't have the time to scream or make a sound because John's movements are so swift and flawless.
This will do.
In John's car, night. John jumps awake from his sleep, confused about where he is. He looks around and realizes he's in his car. Once again, he's covered in blood.
Damn!
He puts the car into drive and speeds off. In John's garage, moments later, John arrives home and parks his car in the garage. The garage door closes behind him. He moves quickly to grab a large garbage bag from a shelf. He undresses and puts his bloody clothes into the bag and pulls clean clothes from a laundry bag. As he dresses, he notices a paper shopping bag in the back seat of his car.
Eduardo's?
Inside the paper bag is a large amount of cash. He shoves the bag of money under his arm and puts the garbage bag of bloody clothes in the trunk of his car. He marches inside the house and faints. Interior, kitchen. Few hours later, John paces as he works up courage to open the bag of money to count it.
7,988?
He tries to remember what happened. He remembers bits and pieces of how he murdered Marvin. John looks at the table and there is the camera next to the camera. He sees the unfamiliar roll of undeveloped film. He goes into his dark room and develops the film. Interior, parlor, next morning. John sits at the table with the photos he developed. He is in shock. There are photos of him committing the murders in the park and at the camera store and stealing the wallet and the bag of money. All of his actions caught on film.
What? This is impossible.
He pushes himself away from the photos on the table in shock and disgust. He glances back at the camera and the bag of cash next to it. He picks up the photo of him holding the bag of cash in the camera store. He begins to make the connection between himself and the camera and the money. Interior, jewelry store, day. John walks over to the counter near the engagement rings.
You're back. How did your wife enjoy the necklace?
She loved it so much that I'm back for that engagement ring we looked at the other day.
We see the clerk pulling out the ring for John. Then we fade out. Allie's apartment, day. Allie walks to the door to answer a knock. She is surprised to see John at the door holding a box open with the engagement ring.
What's this?
What does it look like?
Are you serious? I don't even know where you've been and
He gets on his knees.
I know it's taken a while, but let's get married.
Allie smiles and holds out her hand. He puts the ring on her finger. She gets on her knees with him on the floor.
okay, yes, I'll marry you. Oh, just one question.
What?
Are you going to be able to get up off the floor now with your busted leg?
John grabs her and kisses her. Exterior, John's house, day. We see a moving van. John is helping the movers bring Allie's boxes inside. Allie is staring out into the woods. She looks suspicious and nervous. She gets the chills and turns and walks back to the house. Interior, kitchen, Later that day.
I'm making gumbo. It's just about done.
When did you learn how to make gumbo?
When I found the recipe on the back of the box.
I'm sure it's delicious.
He kisses her on the forehead.
Can you help me set the table?
She points to the warm French bread, butter, and wine glasses on the counter. John puts the bread and butter on the table. He grabs the chilled wine from the refrigerator.
Allie, are you enjoying yourself here?
Yeah, I think things are going well.
You're not planning on leaving here, are you? Like, at least not now, right?
No, no, of course not. Not until I meet that billionaire I saw down by the lake.
He
Right.
finishes setting the table. He rummages through the drawer to find 2 long white candles. He puts them on the table and lights them.
Right.
Soup's on. Can you hand me those 2 large bowls?
John hands her the bowls and she dishes up the gumbo. He sets them on the table and sits. She joins him. He grabs her hand.
I'm really happy you're here.
Lovingly, Allie lovingly smiles at him. They begin eating.
This is really out of the box.
Yeah, it really is.
I have some great news. I got it.
Really? I am so proud of you. What are the details?
Well, I told her that I'll need 1 or 2 assistants. We'll shoot the event, probably some behind the scenes stuff as well. She wants a couple of follow-ups sessions a few days later. I told her that would cost extra, and she agreed.
John shrugs his shoulder.
You got it just like that?
Yeah, I quoted 27,000. No argument, no discussion. She agreed.
That's odd. 27,000? That's a lot of money. You'd expect some resistance. It is just a party.
Allie puts her spoon down, waiting for a reaction from John.
I feel like I could have told her any price, and she would have agreed.
Tell me more about this woman. Do you know her?
Well, she's some sort of debutante from the area. Her family's got a lot of money. She's extravagant. She gets what she wants, I guess.
John is focused on buttering his bread and eating his gumbo. Allie tries to grab his eyes with hers.
Have you met her? Met her in person?
I met her, yes. I had to meet with her for the job. Allie, we had lunch.
You didn't tell me you met up with her.
It's what's the issue? This is good news.
Allie continues
Nothing.
eating her dinner.
Nothing.
They are silent. All we hear are spoons clacking against their bowls. Interior, living room, night. Allie cleans up the living room. She picks up old papers from the past few days and sees an article about a murdered camera store salesman with a photo.
Who would think it would be so dangerous here?
What is it?
A man was bludgeoned to death at a camera store, of all places.
Oh, probably some psycho disgruntled customer.
He takes a paper from Allie.
Yeah, but John, I can't see you. Where are you? But really, a camera store? Have you been to this store before?
I don't know. Maybe.
Allie shrugs and continues cleaning.
I'm going to go out for a while. I'll be back soon.
He rushes out.
John, where are you going?
She walks over to the window and watches him drive away. She shakes her head, disappointed. Interior, John's car, night. John speeds past the camera store. His eyes are glued on the logo as he drives by. He remembers the bag of money he stashed in the kitchen cabinet.
Shit!
He bangs his head on the steering wheel and jams on the brakes, making a swift U-turn back to his house. Interior, kitchen, same time. Allie makes a cup of tea. She sees a large spider and she jumps and shrieks.
No, 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 no.
She grabs a towel and chases a spider. It goes into a cabinet.
Damn it. Spray's in the bathroom.
She gets a can of bug spray, opens the cabinet, and rushes through items in the cabinet looking for the spider. She sees the bag of money John stashed and pulls it out and opens it. She stands there stunned when she reaches in and sees the money. John's car screeches into the garage and he enters the kitchen. He sees Allie holding the bag of money.
Allie, I can explain.
What is this? Where did you get this?
Allie, listen.
What is this, John?
It's just something I had stashed away. I forgot to take out. Look, no big deal.
She reluctantly hands the bag to John and looks at him oddly.
I have to go. I'll be back shortly.
Allie continues to stare at John suspiciously. John leaves with his head is down as if ashamed. Interior, exterior, warehouse, night. John pulls up to the front door of the old warehouse. He holds the newspaper and the money and the brown bag. He opens the door and walks inside. Interior, warehouse. Moments later. Before John turns on the lamp on his desk, he looks out at the window. He sees the old timer staring in from the dark corner across the street. Beat. He closes the old raggedly blinds quickly. John takes a bottle of beer from the bag. He hears a noise like something has fallen from the back of the warehouse that startles him. He goes to investigate. He goes to the makeshift darkroom he created and remembers the film he was developing. He grabs the dried photos and looks at them in shock. He runs back to his desk. He matches up one of his photos with the photo from the newspaper article. He is frantic as he sees several other photos of murder scenes from the role he developed.
What is happening?
John drinks beer after beer as he stares at the two photos. Interior, John's studio, hours later. John sits passed out at his desk. A number of beer bottles are around him. He wakes up groggy and realizes what time it is. He gets up to go home. He hides the newspaper and photos in his desk. He looks at his cell phone and sees Allie has called several times. Interior, bedroom, morning. Allie is getting dressed. She stares at John's empty side of the bed. Anger is building up inside of her. She storms out of the room.
Where is that man?
Interior, living room, moments later. Allie walks into the living room. She sees John from the side view, sitting on the couch. She waits to see if he notices she is there. John turns around. His eyes are puffy and bloodshot. His hair is ruffled.
Morning, baby.
You didn't come home last night. Where were you?
What do you mean? I didn't come home. I was here.
Don't play stupid, John. You run out of here without telling me where you're going. I find your stash of money, then you run out again. What the hell is going on? I want answers now.
Sure, you're too loud.
John, it's 8 a.m. Your side of the bed has been empty all night, and you want to sit here and lie?
Surprise!
John is holding a small Catola puppy in his lap. He pets the sleeping dog. The dog wears a blue bow around his neck.
Isn't he what you always wanted?
Allie picks up the puppy and hugs him.
When? When did you do this? He's beautiful.
Allie picks up the puppy and hugs him.
He's purebred. I got him from a breeder a few hours from here.
I love him.
He has all his papers and all of his supplies and the food are in the garage.
I don't understand how you did this, but thank you so much. Oh, I love you so much, and I love him.
Allie puts the puppy on the floor and runs and jumps on John and kisses him passionately.
How did you afford a purebred? They're so expensive. We don't have that.
I told you I would do anything for you, whatever it takes to make you happy.
Allie plays with the puppy on the floor. John walks out of the room tired and still groggy. In exterior, John's house. Day. Allie walks her dog in front of the house. She lets him off the leash and he runs through the grass. The dog runs behind the house and returns with a sock in his mouth. Allie sees him tussling with the sock.
Big Bear, what do you have?
Allie, Allie tries to grab the sock from the dog.
Bear, no! Drop it!
She catches up with him and grabs the sock. She notices it's a bloodied sock.
It's disgusting.
She throws it in the garbage just as John pulls up. She grabs the dog and runs over to John's car.
Hey, hi, honey.
Hi. Big Bear and I are just playing around.
Hey there, Bear. How's it going?
So, did you finalize the details?
Just about. What's new here?
Bear found a bloody sock somewhere near the house. I threw it out.
What? Where?
I threw it in the trash.
Allie points to the trash and chases the dog, who has started to run down the street. John looks over at the garbage. When Allie is out of sight, he goes to get the sock. He notices it's his.
Where's the other sock?
He panics and roots through the trunk of his car looking for the bag of bloody clothes. Allie runs back to the yard with the dog.
You coming inside? It's unbearably hot out here.
No, I'm gonna stay. Bear can stay outside with me.
Allie waves and goes inside. John dangles the bloody sock in front of the dog.
Where did you find this sock, Big Bear? Show me. Go.
The dog looks at John in amusement, wagging his tail, trying to play tug of war with the sock.
This is ridiculous.
He puts the sock in the bag, takes it into the garage, and puts the bloodied clothing into the washing machine.
Oof, bad idea.
He puts them back in the bag and into the trunk of his car. He walks around the house to check for any other clothes. Exit, porch. Moments later, Allie stands on the porch. John joins her. They sit in the swing.
My vision is so blurry lately. I don't know what it is.
Oh, you really haven't been getting a lot of sleep lately. At least not at home.
Don't start, Allie. I feel like I'm seeing double at times, but mostly just blurry once in a while.
I suggest you go to the optometrist soon then.
Um, Maybe you'll go away.
John squints to look out into the distance. They continue to swing.
By the way, how did your interview go today?
I'm not really sure. I gave her my references and she said she'd get back to me. So I guess I just wait and wait and wait.
I'm sure you'll get the job. That's what you want. It's the job you want, isn't it?
Well, it's a job. The people seem nice enough. She said the place is special.
Aha! You'll fit right in there then.
I don't know if I'm getting the job.
Oh, you'll get it.
Okay, if you say so.
The dog comes onto the porch and they play with them. Interior bedroom, hours later. The clock shows 3:45 a.m. The room is dark. Allie sleeps soundly. John is agitated and gets out of bed.
Yay.
And
That is a weird way to end, but ooh, it gives you so much to think about.
So, Gwen, how was that for you hearing your work read?
I was grinning ear to ear through the whole thing. So I was just so excited. So it was really excited to me to hear the words spoken out loud by professionals for the very first time, because I wrote this script a long time ago and it's just been in my head, visualizing what I could and just, with my own voice. But I just want to thank you all for the opportunity to now let me see it and hear it from your perspective and the way that you interpret it. It was amazing. Yeah, it was great.
Were there any things that were surprises, like you hear the actor read and it's like, I never thought of it that way?
I think for me, like Allie was a totally different kind of person that I had imagined her. I felt like she was just like a little meek little person and just questioning him. But Chris, I love Allie. I loved your Allie. So thank you so much. She's like, yeah,
Thank
well,
you.
so you say, where you, awesome. I loved it.
Awesome. Thank you.
What's the origin of this story? Like, what made you come up with it?
So I finished this one around 9 years ago, and I started writing it a couple years before that. And the idea came from an incident that happened to me on a photo shoot. And at that time, I was intrigued by anti-heroes, right? And those are the characters and people that they're bad, but you still tend to root for them, in whatever's happening with them. So in this story, in John's case, he really cared for children, and you guys can see he loves Allie. He'll do anything for her. But it's difficult to make someone like John, who does bad things, to be lovable, right? It's hard. It's really hard to do that. And we all seem to know someone who gets into trouble or makes bad decisions, or they do things that we would never do ourselves, and we defend them because we know that they're good people. So I guess in my own way, I was trying to understand why we do that. And if someone does something mean or bad, why do we stick around? Why don't we just leave them alone? Why are we always there and make excuses for them? So in this story, much of John's behavior came from, I think, insecurity and physical pain and a broken heart and all these different things going on inside of him. And that was something that we can all relate to. So when I started writing this story back then, I think I just wanted to put into words some of what I was observing with the people around me, and trying to figure out why are we helping this person, or why are we saying, no, let's just give them another chance. And then put it in kind of in a perspective of something that happened to me.
Oh, wow. I'm hoping I don't know any murderers.
well,
You don't know.
Gwen, I have a question, and it sort of ties into what Andre just said. I don't know any murderers. Okay, you I'm sure kept most of the characters neutral. But there was one thing that I couldn't quite connect to the story. On page 5, when John kneels and offers the ring. Well, first off, did you hear my knees pop when I was doing it? But you mentioned a bad leg, and there's no other reference in the story about his
Yeah.
bad leg. But I've got bad legs. All right.
Mhm.
What are we saying here? What do you know that I don't know about me?
No, I have a bad leg too, I think. But I
Okay.
think previously, so that part where you were reading from there in New York City, but the main part of the story that, you know, with the dog and everything, that all takes place in Louisiana. And he got into a car accident and he
Okay.
hurt his leg. And it was
Okay.
a very bad break on his leg, and it had been
Okay.
giving him problems. So earlier in the story,
I
you
see.
know, Allie kind of understands that he's in pain, and I think that's kind of why she deals with some of the
Yeah.
issues. And like I said, you know, from the outside, an observer would say, well, why would she ever put up with somebody who's so angry and so mean? But then, hey, she also knows that he's in the physical pain. So,
And I must say, we're missing a lot of the story. I read the whole thing, so we're missing tons.
Oh,
But what I tried to do is just put, because, you know, we only have so much time, and I did, tried to put together all of the Allie and John scenes with a few other people, like so it could be Allie and John and one other person. And that's why, and Maria, wow, you were fantastic with all the different characters. You made them all different, but there'd be like other people and it just wouldn't, you know, it was just too much. And so it condenses so that you have something to focus on, which is Allie and John. But it's got, the whole piece has tons of other stuff going on. And
I want to say, Maria, I love the TV announcer.
oh
Like,
yeah.
it was just
Thank
so
you.
spot on and perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, it looks like we have some questions, and it's best, I'm going to say for the audience, if you ask in the Q&A rather than the chat. I got that from Lisa. For the writer, what are your inspirations for the script? This script reminds me of some of Brian De Palma's movies. Oh yeah.
You know, I was thinking about that, and honestly, it's not even that. It was Beloved. It was something about Beloved. The movie itself, the book and the movie with Oprah Winfrey and Danny Glover. It's just that it does, like, a horror story doesn't have to be, I mean, well, John is a slasher, but it doesn't have to be like somebody who's in your neighborhood just slashing. It could be something like really internal, you know, and it could be just like within this one community. Here he is coming, you know, it's a supernatural a story towards the end. But I think it was just, I feel, to me it's delicate, like it's a delicate kind of horror story. To other people it may not be, but it was just, my inspiration was more like a Beloved kind of story.
Hmm.
And do the actors have anything to say about how you felt reading the characters? Or
Well, one thing I have to say about Allie is she's easily bought. I mean, give me a necklace, give me a ring, give me a dog. I'll forget anything that's going on. But yeah, that's one of the things where, you know, there might be abuse going on, but there's also this other side
Yeah.
where it's like, but you know, they're so kind. And like you were saying, Gwen, like she knows that he's hurt, so she stays around, but she also sees this other side of him. So I would definitely be interested to know where their relationship goes as the script progresses.
Yeah.
we have a question from Kathleen Graham. What's going on with John? And she also says, well read, all well done, Gwen. And I'd love to know more of the story. And I guess part of it is, what's going on with John?
Yeah. What's going on with him? John, so basically what's happening is that it's all about this camera that he found, because he loves photography. That's another good thing about him. He loves taking photos. He teaches children photography and all of this, like backstory, and he loves old cameras, and he found a camera, and it's somehow, I don't want to call it possessed, but it's cursed. It's a cursed camera.
Christine, like
It's a little
Stephen King's Christine, the killer car.
There you go. She was born with an evil soul. So yeah, this is a little camera here. So it's kind of, I think in throughout this, he sees something wrong, he blacks out, he knows that these things are happening, he's connecting it to him. But my question to John would be, well, why aren't you trying to stop it? Like, are you using this to get Allie, to win over Allie? Chris, like you said, she's easily bought. Is he using now this new power or curse that he has to kind of win her over? Is he using it for his own benefit?
I guess we'll have to find out. Any other questions from actors or writer, or any
I was
thoughts?
I was hoping John had a way out, because I sensed him as a person who was good, who wanted to be good, but definitely was in the clutches of something a lot evil, and he was not letting go, for probably reasons to maintain or to keep Allie. But yeah, he his shock, his disbelief, his utter disgust at what he's doing, makes me think that he's a good person inside, but he is holding on to something that is allowing him. I think the very last line of the script, where Allie's not sure about the job, but he's convinced that she'll get it.
Yes, he knows.
I just figured he was going to kill somebody. Kill our competition.
Yeah, that's it.
It's your job.
There you go.
Well, so one thing that I really like about these daily reads, it does give a writer a chance to hear the words, but while it's a work in progress. And I think one thing that a lot of writers don't know is that actors like it. We love to do this kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so, when you're working in progress, and especially since there's Zoom, you don't have to be nearby. I'm with a group that every other week, the writers submit stuff, and they have actors, and you never know which role you're going to play, and that kind of stuff. We get the script the same day, and just do these cold reads, but it's so that the writer can hear the words. And sometimes, like you said, Chris did it, and it's like, what if Allie's that way instead? And, you can fine tune things and maybe come up with other stuff. So I encourage you to, keep in touch with the actors, and they have friends, so, if you say, oh, I want to read this and I need like 10 actors, who's available? And if we're not, we say no.
Yeah. And I think this is kind of what was missing, because like I said, I've been holding on to this one for a long time, but hearing it read by professionals, I think, is what was missing. So I kept on the back burner. Oh no, I'm not going to do anything with it now. But now I'm like so motivated. I want to find out, more about Allie, what's going on. So thank you guys really so much for like the privilege of just hearing you guys read. And
Maybe
Sharon,
we'll see it in the
your
film
narration
festival
was
next
great. Yeah,
year.
maybe Sharon's narration was great, because I was just like, what's going to happen next? Just by hearing her, hearing her read it, like, what's next?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I thought you did I thought everyone did. I thought you did a great job, Sharon. And the thing is, when I'm looking for people like for narrator, because sometimes what happens is, I notice in our thing every other week, people think, oh, narrator, just read straight. And it's like, no, the narrator, if you're doing a reading, the narrator is the visuals.
Yeah.
And so their voice has to be the visuals. And we need somebody like Sharon to, make it come alive, because, you want to say, and he walked into the room and they exploded. But I've heard people read like that, and then you don't understand what's going on, because she's also the music.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, happy to contribute.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
it was excellent. I love your purple background too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So anyone else have anything? If not, there are more things going on. The film festival today, everything's at Hibernian Hall today. And then tomorrow, I think we're back at the museum, but we definitely, and yeah, the next 2 days are back at the Museum of Fine Arts. And there'll also be daily reads Thursday and Friday. Friday is the surprise. Can't say what it is. That is something that we maybe the writer didn't know. So we're reading usually do something famous. One time we did Black Panther, another time, like things like that. So I've been having a blast with the film festival, and I'm hoping some filmmakers will be they have a senior luncheon today. I'm going straight from here to there and taking our 113-year-old friend and another friend that's going to be 100 this year. And I'm thinking those are the stories you want.
And
If
yes.
I were a filmmaker, I would come to that and interview a lot of those folks, because they have fantastic stories. I've been interviewing my friend that's 113, and the things that I found out are things that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Like that she and her sisters were orphaned. Their parents died young, and they were in Whooping for a while. I think they lived in Louisiana, but they had a house and they worked. And I was surprised when she was telling what they were doing. And I said, but wait, how old were you? And they were like, the oldest kid was like 13, and they were totally on their own, because mostly when you hear about kids orphaned, you hear about them living with relatives or going to an orphanage. But I guess back then, especially Black, and if you had a house, nobody's noticing.
Yeah.
You're just totally allowed to be, and for them, it wasn't a tragic alone. It was, they were alone, they were going to school. They were also working, which is something that somebody could be working as a domestic at 10, independently, but they were doing that. So those kinds of peeks into life that I've never seen that story of some of kids living alone at such a young age, and it's fine and nothing's like going on. They're not hiding from the police or school or anything like that.
It's a real peek into the times,
Yes.
a real peek into the times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the stories we see are like Oliver, where they're in an orphanage, kids, or they're on the streets. But I guess if you owned your house, you had to keep it. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And I thoroughly enjoyed this reading. I get to sit back and just enjoy it this time. Surprises. So to see everyone tomorrow. Have a wonderful.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful week.
Bye, Maria.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Sharon.
Great working with you.
Bye.